All right, it is running. Okay. Hi, John Marshall, the Drill Master. This is PVHS. I'm recording this in 2024. This was 6 years ago, but I was asked to critique this. And yeah, sure, we can learn from all kinds of past performances and experiences. So we see the Navy drill team and most likely a supernumerary, and a supernumerary is just an extra, an individual standing by in case, and in this case, most likely because of the weapon there, most likely he's just standing there in case a weapon breaks or there's a drop or something like that. A drop that you can't immediately recover, the weapon slides away. He's right there to replace it. So slings also, slings coming apart. That's also a thing. All right, let's get going. So I got to tell you, calling, constantly calling commands is totally annoying. Constantly calling cadence, I should say, not commands. This is definitely not necessary. If so, Commander, you're not aligned properly. You're not spaced far enough away. You've also got that uh, drill instructor lean. That it looks ridiculous. It's also bad body form. It bad structure. It puts more stress on your lower back, which then gets into your hips, and it cascades from there. This is not how you stand at attention. And I know some people think it's cool, especially some drill instructors. They just think it's awesome. Look in the Marine Corps order, and the both of the sword, especially the officer there, the sword at present. It sorry, present arms. So at present, the body looks normal, and then as soon as he goes to arms, it's just all, it's idiotic. Honestly, it doesn't look better. It looks odd, but it's just not proper technique. We stand at attention, just like this, just like the guidon is, and most likely the rest of the team. Nice and straight, not the hips jutting forward. Anyway, you marching, having to march backwards, and you should have taken care of that before you stepped off. And if there was an issue with, sometimes depending on where you are, there can be an issue of starting off in that small box there. And if there is an issue, then as you march out, then just do this, just move away, just instead of this big adjustment here, making smaller adjustments is going to be much better. Excellent order arms there, team. That was great. Well done on the present. I can see a shelf though, so it's an angle to the wrist there. I'll call it a shelf. So right here, last cadet in the first squad here, and actually it looks like squad leader too. But look at the straight line here. That's what you want. So let me grab my rifle. What I'm seeing here is this in the cadet who's at present correctly, where my where the cursor is, where I left it. So that's correct. This is what I see a lot. It's the difference in that from that, and it looks like this from the front. So we're here or here. This is, it's not, I don't want to tell you exactly that it's wrong. There's a better technique. I'll put it that way. Instead of having your hand all angled like that, just flatten it out. It's a muscle memory thing. When I tell you what, so it can be also maybe a shorter muscle here, ligament there, something like that. So when I go to present arms, forever my thumb has always pulled back. Ever since I started in junior ROTC in 1979, and I have always since 1979 saluted like that. I can't maintain that position for any longer than just a few seconds, and that's technically how you're supposed to salute. I've always done this. Nobody's ever noticed except at one training, but and I was told to flatten out my thumb. I said I can't. That's the way it is. That's what I've done since decades. So you'll just have to deal with it. And for cadets, in some situations, you just have to deal with that as well. The sidestep. Why did you sidestep? Commander, you're all out of function here. Obviously have a spade marker on there. That's good, Guidon. Excellent job. You bent your knee there, Commander. Good present technique, though, with the sword. Nice job. Oh, as you were. Wow. So you're not able... There we go. That's better. All right. You're not able to see the judge. Judges, I'd like you to look at this. So the commander is reporting in. He's at present. Poor posture here. Okay. Anyway, so but the judge here who's receiving the salute, notice he hasn't saluted yet because it's not time to salute. I see judges do this all the time. As soon as the cadet brings up the hand to respond or to report in, the judge is just standing there like this, receiving the report. What are you doing? There's such a lack of knowledge. Look at that. Now he salutes. That's the appropriate time. Notice, Commander, you're not as squared away as you should have been. But you've got some good things going there. Nicely done. So it's either the Daisy or the Glendale rifle there, and the triggers don't work on the 1903s. So So this is a child's version, we'll call it. They're all replica rifles, so not a big deal. So as you're pulling open the bolt, you inspect the chamber, and they did a fine job there. You close the bolt. Notice that it's the right hand acting here. Now, if you have a 14 or M1 Garand, you're going to do this. All right? So many people don't understand this, and I don't know why. You're not going to pull like this. You're going to open like this. All right, just thought I'd get that out there. Nice. Notice all toes are aligned. All 3 toes. Now, as far as sliding the hands up, that's not a thing. But still, all 3 toes are aligned. Both the both the toes of the individual and the toe of the butt of the rifle. So sliding the hand, you're all doing it, and you're all performing really well there. Excellent job, but sliding the hands up isn't a thing. The hand needs to stay at where it rests at the position of attention. When you bring the rifle forward, all you do is wrap the hand around, and then you bring it back to attention. And see, they have to slide the hand down the upper hand guard there. Looks like good grips. Marine Corps looks like this. Or, sorry, Army looks like this with the donut. Marine Corps looks like this. Got the split minus the donut. Army has the split here and the donut. And then Air Force has all fingers closed. Excellent timing there. Really very good technique. So heads yeah, head's not exactly there, but very close. So also at see, we have a little bit of an angle here in the wrist as well. Some extreme, actually. That's just extended. Your wrist should be neutral. Your fingers extended and joined. The thumb wrapped around the rifle. But that's extreme angle there. Not necessary. Not at all. And it doesn't necessarily look good either. Great job there. Great timing. I was actually taught that method of close and extend at my military school. But we were in Army school. But our tack off... Oh, so that was not good. The step off was not good. Our tack officer was Marine. And we think we do the things the same, but we don't. So a little bit of body movement there instead of moving from the shoulder. Watch him. See how the and I mean it's so slight from the waist to pull up that rifle instead of maintaining that T. The T is from the belly button to the forehead and then shoulder to shoulder. And then that step off. See this the high step here? High step here. Absolutely unacceptable. This is how you move. This is how you take your first step. Just like this. Your foot clears the deck only. You lift it just enough to clear the deck. Not good. Not at all. big variation of technique. And then you're going to see that he kind of flaps the foot out and then slams the heel in. That's not proper marching technique. We don't march with a chop like this. We march with, or at least we should march with the foot coming in, striking the heel, rolling off the toe, and then picking the foot up enough to clear the deck and continuing. But you can see how he plop, flop, flop. What are you doing, Commander? Holy cow. You should have just marched into position. You make it look good, except that that's just, it's not, everything you're doing is not necessary. You were, so right there, you're right here along this, I don't know what that is. Anyway, along this line on the floor there, on the deck. So, all this, and you finally get out here. You started here, then the oblique. It's pronounced oblique in the command, but that's only for the military. Oblique has only been a military pronunciation. It's actually pronounced oblique. But all of this is just unnecessary. Team, you're doing an excellent job maintaining that dress cover interval and distance. Oh, I wanted to maybe catch it. There. What on earth is that, Guidon? And everybody else as well. You're really high up there, but Guidon, man, you've got horizontal thigh syndrome. That's not half step. The foot is picked up off the deck enough to clear the deck. That's it. Even at half step. Even though half step for the Marine Corps, Navy, and Coast Guard it requires a toe strike, which I find really weird. Because I just, my entire military career, including JROTC, was always Army and Air Force, and it's always a heel strike. Marine Corps, Navy, Coast Guard, toe strike. And so if the toe strike is required, it kind of feels like a marked time. It's not a marked time. And even if it was, that's just way too much. Way too much. That constant cadence calling is so that slight pause on the flank. Many teams do execute a slight pause. It looks like a slight pause to me. I'll have to keep watching though. No, I guess not. But I just have to thank you. So here you can see though, you can see that the end step for the flank, the end step is the last step you take in the current direction. So that would be the left foot for a right flank and moving to the right. So you can see that that end step isn't exact, um, because you can see the cadets but it's just slight. And so at a competitive level, you want everything as close to perfect as possible. So that end step needs to be exactly the same for everyone. So you're marching at a 30-inch step measured from heel to heel. So as you bring that foot out, it should be a 30-inch step moving into another 30-inch step as you execute the flank. Again, measured only from the heels, not heel to toe, not toe to toe, from the heels. And as you make that, though, then you can't cross over the feet. So the feet have to stay with the they have to remain on their tracks, have that distance in between here, and then as you execute the flank, you still have to have that same distance in between. And it's and the term escapes me now, but it's the gap between your feet. There's a specific gap that everybody has. You don't have to modify it unless you're actually walking down the street like this, and that's what leads to marching like that or walking like that. But you should have anywhere from about 3 to even 6 inches. 3 to 5 is normal. Some people will march at about a 6-inch gap. That's measured from the inside of the foot to the inside of the foot. So maintaining that gap and the step length for that first step, for the last step and first step in the direction in the new direction you're marching, that's going to be very critical. Notice how the rifles just float. They're not moving. Really nice. Shoulders are nice and square on all the team members. Really good job. Excellent execution on that right shoulder. I did notice, though, while the team's at port, not... So here we don't have a split. That's exactly what you want, having that split. But it also, well, I won't call it a donut. There is a gap at the thumb, and you don't want the gap. You've got to have that gap at the index and middle fingers. And here also, here's that shelf again. So when you're at attention, having that extreme angle is not going to work well for you at all. Should have that neutral wrist. The hands, when everybody's at attention, the right hand should be the same, essentially, whether you're holding the guidon staff or whether you're holding the rifle. The hands are supposed to look pretty close to the same. But so you can see the arm is turned out. Shouldn't be. The elbow should be back here. Again with the distance thing, Commander. So the reason why jeez, you look silly, Commander, constantly marching backwards like that. The reason why the commander moved into the parade position. See, this isn't a parade. The parade position is for parades. Closer than close interval there, team. For the side steps aren't supposed to be an exact 15 inches. If they were 15 inches, then you'd be plowing into each other. And so this is one thing I hate, the left flank after this. because they're at close interval. Oh, they're moving out. Oh, no, they're staying. Oh, okay. And then you're supposed to expand naturally. That was really well done. Very well done. I want to go back, though. So back to here. And I'll skip ahead. So the side steps are supposed to be metered steps. That's my term. Nobody else really uses that. Metered means, in this instance, you're going to take the same the same distance of a side step. It's not going to be 15 inches, like I said. If you took 15 inches, it'd be too much. So you have to take, let's say, maybe an 11 or a 9-inch side step, but you take 2 side steps that are the same distance. That's the whole point of the synchronization here, and for a normal platoon marching somewhere, having to get to close interval, it's not a huge deal that they'd be a little bit out of alignment here and there. It's a huge deal in competition. So you're going to want to take an exact side step coming in, and also if you were to going out. So you end up at close interval, coming in, going out, you end up at normal interval. So oh yeah. There. So they expanded really well. Very impressive. And Commander, you're going to go up, face, and then you're going to march backwards, aren't you? You're going to, yeah. So I'm not going to give up. I almost said I give up, but you could have stopped centered, which would have been what you're supposed to do. Stopped on the center. Then if you really need to make those backward steps, then go right ahead, but they're all not necessary. So, and where does it say to do this? March backwards out of the way. So there's this relatively annoying idea in the Marine Corps that in order to march a platoon properly, you never have your eyes taken off of them, which is why the instead of the commander executing a rear march, let's say, with the platoon, they'll execute 2 right faces or 2 left faces, depending on the direction. That's really, this is along the same lines. That's silly. So in Marine Corps boot camp, if they want to do that, that's fine. That's for that situation and that situation only. However, the drill instructors coming out of boot camp then enforce these ridiculous rules on everybody else because that's the way it's supposed to be. No, that's only in boot camp. That's it. No other place. There's no such thing as taking your eyes off the platoon and the rules and regulations around that. It doesn't exist at all. So this, no. You should have executed the flank with your platoon, and then when you give the next command, you give it to your platoon over the right shoulder, unless the platoon is going to the left. Then you give it over the left shoulder. Every other command is given to the right, including halt, given over the right shoulder. I mean, this is nonsensical. That doesn't exist. Yeah. So not Commander's fault. Commander's just doing what he's been taught, and I get that. I understand that completely. But that doesn't exist. That's not a thing. Oh, almost had that guide on there. Still, sharp technique there, guide on bear. Again with the sidestep. Did you really have to say order? Probably not. And right instead of right. Are you just so? I don't mean to personally insult everyone, but are you just ingratiating yourself to the drill instructors because you know that DIs are going to be judging this portion of the competition? Is that the reason why you're calling commands like this? The stomp there, and I meant to mention this before. The stomp is not necessary. It's not sharp. It's not the technique. That's not how we halt. Guide on bear. I'll just keep muting. So the countermarch that they did isn't authorized. It's never been authorized for a platoon. However, I have absolutely no problem with it at all because it's expedient. It gets the team off. That's fine. It's used in boot camp all the time because it's an expedient move. It's just not in the Marine Corps order. The only ones who do that are the color guard and the band. They're the only ones authorized to do the countermarch, which to me is a bit silly. Everybody should be able to do that for Marine Corps, Navy, and Coast Guard. Now, Army, Air Force, Space Force, yeah, we do it all the time. Okay. Anyway, I hope this video was informative in the way it's intended, honestly. And thanks for the request. I appreciate it. Have a great day.